Twitter that we were going to stream, and literally nobody has noticed yet.
Have you said it in the Discord?
Yeah, I said it in the Discord, but I also said it on Twitter. Oh well.
People are responding to Discord.
There we go. All right.
We show off the chain attack and they just hate it. So what is this shit?
Hopefully Twitch will not be a bitch.
You ask for too much.
Yeah, I do. I expect too much out of people sometimes. How dare I? Alright, let's just wait a moment.
I can't wait.
Making sure
No longer.
all the audio should be fine and all that stuff. Yep. Okay. Twitch, why are you always loading for me? I don't get it. Not loading, but it's constantly buffering. I don't know if it's doing that for other people too, or if it's just me. But whenever I keep track of my own stream on Twitch, it's constantly buffering. Did you die?
Yeah, I completely died.
Okay. So
Have you met an end?
Emmanuel is dead now.
Finally.
I don't believe that Reese will be joining us for this stream.
Well, unless the stream takes less than 30 minutes.
Yeah. Why is this called an educational game? Why does Twitch have this tagged as educational? That doesn't make sense.
It is educational. Of course.
Of course it's educational. Why wouldn't it be? Let's put on my glasses.
No, I'm sure we said that at some point, but I think we should start like an Infinity Plus YouTube channel, even maybe a Infinity Plus like dev streamers, like Twitch channel at some point.
Yeah, it would
like
be
not
nice
now, but later.
to get an actual YouTube channel, because if like whenever we do an actual YouTube channel, we'll also be putting all of our oh god damn it.
Dev streams on it.
We'll be putting all the dev streams on it. We'll also be putting all the tutorials on it too.
Yeah, we can even one idea I thought of that would be cool is like when we start making, like how when Smash Brothers was coming out, like especially Brawl, they'll have like a dojo where they give you a sneak peek of all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe we do something similar to that for the for the combat update when we eventually get to it, because when we add in new enemy variations, we could have like a little teaser video that shows them off, and we could like give like voiceovers saying, "Oh, this is the blah blah," Like this is the egg pond. He is a something something, and he kicks ass or something.
Hmm.
I think that'll be kind of cool.
X character does X thing. Shadow will come to your house and shoot you in the butt.
That's what he does.
The Twitch stream isn't buffering for anyone else, is it? Is it just me? Is it Twitch being stupid?
No, it works for me.
Okay, so it's not constantly buffering over and over again?
No.
Okay.
Must be a you problem.
It probably is, because Twitch is stupid. Alright, we can probably go ahead and get started. How's it going, everybody? It's just going to be me and Emmanuel today.
Yeah, for now at least.
Vivanite's not here. I guess we'll be talking about 3 things mainly. Oh, excuse me. One will be, well, 2 of them are going to be things that we've talked about in the past, but we've got some more updates on them. Wisps and combat. And the third one being, we'll probably end up talking about Sage a bit and what our plans for Sage 2020 is.
Yep.
We do have an idea on what we want to do for Sage, but we'll share that information later. I'm not interested in sharing it now. It says we've been streaming for 39 minutes, but I know that's not true.
We have, though. Obviously.
No, we've been streaming for like 6 minutes. Twitch is being stupid as shit today. What the hell? Alright, I guess the first thing we can go over is the combat. No, actually, no. It won't take as long to go over the Wisps. We'll go ahead and go over the Wisps first.
Yeah, then we'll go over to combat.
Yep. Alright, so the 2 main things we're going to go over with the Wisps right now is the fact that we have gotten proper orientation set up for them now, so they will actually orientate properly according to the camera. They'll rotate as the camera and your input dictates. God damn, what the hell is going on? I just don't think today is my day. Today is just a meh day so far. Anyway,
What's happening?
None, I just get none. We've already shown off the Burst Wisp before, but one issue with it that we had talked about is the fact that the Burst Wisp wasn't properly orientating. So as you can see, whenever you bounce or jump with the Burst Wisp launches forward and up. But what it used to be is because the Burst Wisp wasn't properly orientating, every time you would move around or change your forward vector with the camera, the Wisp would not rotate with you. So every single time that you press the jump button, the red Wisp would always move up and forward at a specific direction rather than the direction that you were facing, which has been fixed now. So, whew. The Burst Wisp now functions as intended. Is no longer weird and janky to use. We gotta adjust the energy values yet. I think it lasts way too long. The other thing we've done is the Hover Wisp, which we've shown off. The Hover Wisp can now light speed dash. It light speed dashes at a much slower rate than Sonic does. And the orientation is also important for the green Hover Wisp, because what it used to do is the way that the light speed dash works is it creates a capsule trace in front of you, and if you never rotate whenever you move, then that capsule trace will never actually change. So if I was facing one direction and I did light speed dash, the capsule trace would be in that direction. But if I tried rotating and moving a different direction I did the light speed dash, the capsule trace would be in the same direction that it used to be. I know it's kind of difficult to explain. Woo! Okie dokie, that was a bug. I know what's causing that bug though. So it doesn't. Oh, sometimes whenever you transform into a Wisp because you're being pushed away from the Master. Hover will basically launch up 10 million feet in the air.
It's a feature.
Yep.
It's called Wisp canceling.
As you've probably noticed, every time I use the Wisp, the shield material will pop up, which is unintended. Like, I'm not using any shields right now. I've not grabbed a shield. But if I grab... I wanted laser. I didn't want lightning. Give me laser. There you go.
Give it to me.
I grab a Wisp. As you can see, now I have the shield. That's a current bug that we're going to be working on.
You don't even actually have the shield, just the visual effect. If you get hit, you'll still take damage.
Yeah, I don't actually literally have the shield. It's just the visuals. So if I took damage, I would take direct damage to my rings, not the shield. But we're aware of what's causing the problem, and we're just taking our time fixing it because this week has been a bit slower than the other weeks. Another minor thing, I think I showed this off last week, but if you overlap with the Wisp capsule that you already have while you're using a Wisp, it'll go ahead and refill that Wisp energy, which I'm pretty sure I showed off already. We'll be coming back to the Wisps later when we talk about Sage, but for now, I think that's about it.
Other than we've shown off Rocket many times.
We've shown off Rocket, we've shown off Laser. There's not been any changes made to them. They're functioning almost entirely as intended. Burst is
It did work
almost...
on Bomb and Jade. Not Bomb and Jade. Jade and Cube, if I remember.
Cube and Jade have been worked on, yes. Jade has been a little annoying, but I might have an idea on how to figure it out and fix it. Blue Cube, on the other hand, I've entirely given up. I'm pawning off Blue Cube to someone else on the team. I've grown agitated with how it functions. But technically, you can transform into a cube. I'll go ahead and show it off, but it's not going to work as intended. I guarantee you that. You can slam down and you transform back into Sonic. But the problem is every time you use it... Hey, look at that! Yep. See, it's not working as intended. It only transforms one of the blocks at a time. And after I finish using it, I teleport back to a different location, which is not intended. That and every single time you use Cube, the music resets. The Cube music, rather than just continuing on, it resets, which I tried fixing and it didn't work. So I'm giving up on Blue Cube right now. I'm pawning it off to someone else. It's agitating me. But that is what Blue Cube looks like in its early state. As for Jade Ghost, all it's supposed to do is turn your visibility. It's not going to turn your visibility off. It's going to like make it opaque, meaning you can see through Sonic.
Yeah, it turns opaqueness down.
And it's supposed to make you impervious to damage, but I messed it up. I know how to fix that, though, I think. And then, of course, once you're out of energy, that's it. But, Jade Ghost still has some problems with it yet. I've not really touched it since I started on it. I might work on it again here soon. Haven't decided yet. But it's kind of working. Jade Ghost and Blue Cube are going to be annoying, and I already knew that, but that's just the joys of working on Wisps. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get down to the good shit, the stuff that we're really excited to show off.
Oh yeah, this is exciting to show off.
All right, what did we show off last time?
We show off the hitboxes and the kicks.
That is true. Sorry, so to refresh everyone, Sonic has some new fancy schmancy hitboxes. As you can see, that hitbox right there is his boost hitbox, meaning you no longer have to be insanely accurate with the boost in order to hit an enemy. You can just boop. Or if you like side swipe an enemy, boop, like so. There's an actual hitbox for it. This can either be added into the blueprints themselves, or you can create animations that actually have the data for the hitboxes, and it can be animation controlled entirely using animation notifies. Yep. Same thing.
Kind of like in fighting games.
Same thing with the slide. Slide has a hitbox. The kick has a hitbox as well.
Multiple hitboxes.
Yep. Boop. It does different things depending on where on the hitbox that hits the enemy.
Yeah, you're rewarded by hitting the enemy right when your foot is like sweeping out and all that stuff. And of course, we'll better indicate that visually with particle effects later on. But for now, it is a thing.
Yep. So you can zoop, like so. And the other thing we did was the windmill.
Rolling.
Yeah, we'll do the rolling real quick. Rolling has its own hitbox as well. You can
And it can
juggle
combo
these.
really well.
Yep. So if I did this, boop, like so.
Yeah, and eventually I want to make it so that if you're falling and you're rolling, you carry them down with you. But that's for later. For now, if you roll into enemy on flat ground, they will definitely come with you. Unless they have hitbox. Oh yeah, that's another thing too.
What?
Enemies with health bars.
Oh yeah, we have little health bars for the enemies now. So as you can see, this enemy here has a health bar. Boop. And once it's dead, and it fell to the ground. Oh, and the windmill kick, obviously. We've got the windmill kick. Whoop. If you do a
we
kick...
haven't shown it off 2 weeks ago, though. This is completely new.
Yeah, we did. We showed it off 2 weeks ago.
I'm pretty sure we didn't. I think I made it after that.
I don't remember that. The windmill kick is a neat little move that'll launch you forward. Like, if you're not moving very fast and you do it, it'll launch you forward slightly.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Yep. Every time you hit an enemy, it'll also bop you up into the air ever so slightly.
And give you a burst of speed.
Yep.
So to give you context, you have to be doing a kick move while doing it. It's like an extension of it. So you can't do it very quickly. Like, you can't do it on reaction normally, unless you're just that well trained. But it's more so like, I want to get a burst of speed or plow through some enemies. You can use it really quickly. Like, try it on that group of enemies back there near the egg flappers.
So I can just go.
Yeah, and every time you hit an enemy, you get a bit of speed, which is nice.
We'll probably obviously adjust the hitbox. I think the hitbox should probably be a bit bigger, but honestly, we're not too big yet. I'm not too fussed about it at the moment.
And another thing we may add in at some point, I think I wanted to do this and Fizz brought it up at some point, like separately, so we both have to be on the same page, is making so that some attacks can actually make it, even if it kills the enemy, you can still target the enemy with a homing attack, possibly. It's not in the game yet, but it is an idea where you can maybe pop up an enemy with a powerful attack, aim at them, and then shoot towards them with a homing attack so you get some sort of platforming advantage. Or if you just want to get out dodge, who knows.
Yep. Alright, I think it's time to show off some of the good shit that we've got.
Oh yeah, so first, we changed the homing attack slightly.
Alright, let's show it off real quick. That was very, very short and very quick, so let me just show it off again.
Has a very small little delay right now. He's just pressing it once, and that's what's happening.
Yep.
So let's compare it. And another thing you can do is that you can cancel this delay by double tapping it, like if you press the button while you're charging it. So show the difference between a normal tap and like a quick double tap or something like that, or just mash it.
Yep. Here's a delayed tap, and here's me canceling it. Very,
It's a bit faster. So if you want to rapidly attack enemies, it is a bit slower than before, but you can get it done by just rapidly tapping a button. It does add some more weight to it. It is also optional. We're going to have a option to have what we call advanced combat on, and this is going to be one of the things that will be disabled if you turn off advanced combat.
Yep. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why would you slow the homing attack down like that? That is so pace breaking. It's so dumb. Why would you do that? And you are correct. It is dumb and pace breaking, which is why we have the option to turn it off with advanced combat turned off. However, with advanced combat turned on, this delay gives you a short amount of time to modify your homing attack. And to show off what that means, I'm not going to do the main one, I'm going to do the other one. To show off what it means, let's slow down time here, and let's do a modified homing attack. Pop! As you saw there, in the middle of the homing attack, my animation changed, and instead of popping forward or upward, I popped backwards.
Yeah, so let's do it again.
Pop. Like so.
And this is a, you hold down the stomp or kick button to do this, by the way.
Yep, this is the crouch button I'm holding.
Yeah.
So I jump, I charge up a homing attack, and then I hold the crouch button.
Yeah, and this is an example. This is something I whipped up really quickly called the flying kick. The idea is that instead of going forward or upwards, it just sends you backwards, and maybe you can even plow through some enemies with it.
I'm still not sold on the flying kick, but the flying kick is an idea, and it's just to showcase what the homing attack delay is for. Or we don't really call it a delay; we call it a wind-up. However, in my personal opinion, flying kick's boring. It's very boring.
How dare you?
I say we show off a move that is like a million times cooler. What do you say?
You're gonna do the move?
I am gonna do the move. Are you ready?
Hope you guys are ready for this one.
This is a cool move. I really like this move. We slapped it together last night. I say we. Emmanuel did, but I assisted here and there. I gave you some.
Assisted here and there, and you gave me some creative feedback and input.
And some, logic ideas with the code. But
Oh,
Emmanuel
yeah, you did help with that, actually.
Emmanuel did he did the actual heavy lifting, but I gave him some code pointers here and there that he either took or ignored. But enough stalling. Here's the move. And here we go. Woo!
Did you catch it?
Let's do that again.
Yeah, they may not have saw that. It was a little too fast.
I think we should do it with more enemies. I think that's a good idea. Let me go grab some rings real quick.
Because you may get hit because
I might get
you're
hit.
great at Sonic games.
We really need to put some rings in that room.
It was so simple to do, but we just never do it.
Yep, we have yet to do it. Let's do it. Let's do it right here.
Nice. And they're all just dead. Jesus Christ, you're a monster.
I am. Let's do it on
Let's
these
try the
enemies over here.
flappers.
Yeah, let's try it on flappers.
Maybe it should be fine. Nice.
I don't like these enemies here anymore.
And they're dead. Wonder if you could charge up on a single enemy if it does anything.
It is not. That is because there are no enemies nearby.
Yeah, at least currently.
You probably noticed that I shot forward after some of these attacks, and that's because I have the momentum homing attack on. You might be saying, but you didn't turn the momentum homing attack on earlier. And that is because I didn't. I didn't turn it on. By holding the roll button in the middle of a homing attack, whenever I land on an enemy, instead of popping up into the air, I will launch forward. Oh, come on. By holding the roll button, I am augmenting the homing attack to be a roll homing attack. Or not a roll homing attack,
Momentum
homing
homing attack.
So, regular and roll, or momentum.
Yeah, and you can also combine this with the, whatchamacallit? The chain homing attack, so the last hit will send you flying forward.
Yep. By the way, that's what we call this move. We call this the chain homing attack.
Yeah, it was inspired by, actually Requiem helped us come up with this slightly because Requiem's one of our team members who does graphic design, and they said they wanted the homing attack to feel like how it does in Unleashed, or at least the Sonic Unleashed opening, where he just kind of homing attacks a bunch of enemies left, right, and center without really any pauses. And we thought, well, we could just make the homing attack more fluid, maybe, and spammable, or we could make it an attack that just does it. Well, I know this sounds dumb, but does it for you, but in a cool way.
So, one thing you probably notice is I don't always dash through all the enemies, and that's because the chain homing attack is completely controlled by the player. It's not something that's just automatic, like you don't hit a button and it automatically links all the enemies together. You can decide how many enemies you want to hit in the chain. So, if I only want to hit one enemy, I don't do anything. However, if I want to hit 2 enemies, I simply hit the chain button twice. Actually, I hit it once.
Yeah.
Boop. There we go. 2 enemies.
Pressing the boost button or the chain button will only add in one extra. Will add in one extra enemy per press, and you can have. Let's say you can take out 6 enemies at most with this ability. So the initial enemy and 5 extra ones.
Yep.
We may change the numbers, but that's just what it is currently.
So, I personally really love it. I love the chain.
I fell in love this move as soon as I like showed it to him and it started working.
Well, so did you. You enjoyed it too.
Well, I enjoyed it too, but like I made it, so I'm going to enjoy it regardless to the extent.
That's another thing you can do. Even if you're in the middle of a homing attack, you can add a chain to it, which I don't know how I feel about that one yet. We'll have to see.
I at least want to make it so you can wind it up while you're in the middle of a homing attack, so you can cancel a homing attack with another type of one.
Yep. You can also, as with any homing attack, whether that's the kick homing attack or the other homing attack, you can cancel out of it. So if I home attack an enemy and I try to do the kick move, I would instead cancel out of it. I didn't hit the cancel button in time. But you can essentially cancel out of any move, and that includes the chain homing attack. So if I... Are you serious?
I think you dodged into the enemy somehow.
I didn't hit the dodge button yet.
Oh.
I knew that I had to time it, so I was waiting until I had already started the move. I didn't hit that last enemy because I canceled out of the attack.
Yeah.
Which you can do with anything. You can also do it like during the charge up time, the wind up. Like so. So let's go ahead and head on over here. There's a lot of enemies over here. It sure is
really
annoying.
weak, though.
Sure is annoying having to kill each one individually. Let me just
Boing. So part of the reason we did this, like, so for one, if you guys are in the loop, Sonic has friends. His main buddies are normally Tails and Knuckles. And if we're going to add them to the game eventually and have combat and stuff like that, one thing we realize is that, like, okay, so if you guys ever play Sonic Heroes, you have, like, the speed type, the power type, and the flight type. The flight type's ability is really just to carry his friends around like bums, because that's what they are. The speed type ability is just to go fast and have some special moves like the Sonic Wind tornado attack and to wall jump. And the power type punches like people in the face and also busts down doors and can glide. Ignore the gliding part. We still want to have a type system where, you know, if you're power type, you're better against enemies. But we realized that, like, Sonic, at least how he currently was, could just plow through enemies really easily. Like, even if we added in a health system, if we kept in the homing attack how it was, where you could just spam it constantly, it was a bit too powerful. Like, I know nerfing is not the way you want to go normally when it comes to game balance, but we just kind of felt like it was always just the best option regardless. It was always the fastest, easiest option. And while there'll always be good options and bad options, like the boost is still very powerful, that's, you know, controlled by meter. And we just want to, you know, incentivize, you know, say, hey, we have other things you could do, and we want to give you cool new options you could do out of a homing attack, because everyone knows how to do a homing attack. Let's just make sure you do different things out of it.
I forgot the kinetic burst was turned off.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't work because I've not replaced the variables for it. Boop, beep, boop, boop.
Beep, bop, boop.
Ow.
Yeah, that's something we also need to add at some point is we need to add in hit stun for enemies. Right now, if you hit an enemy, if you don't kill them, they don't react normally. They get pushed back a bit, which I may change. But they don't, like, you know, in a fighting game, when you get hit, you have to recover from being hit. These enemies are just, like, the most stalwart motherfuckers you've ever met on the face of the earth. They get hit by a homing attack and they don't care.
They're very stoic.
Yeah, they're very stoic. Well, they're happy. They just are tough. Like,
Yeah,
you see, he still try to
is.
punch you.
Yeah. We're gonna try and create maybe like 2 more moves, maybe, and then we're probably gonna shift focus a little bit and really get to working on enemies. Because as you've seen, I am completely plowing through all these enemies.
Yeah, they all suck.
At this point in time, the chain homing attack just acts as a glorified, better version of the homing attack, because it allows you to clear out large enemies at a very, very quick pace.
Yeah, just large amount of enemies have no chance against you.
Yeah.
Also, quick thing to note, it only works against enemies.
Yeah, that is true. If I try to dash onto, let's do the string box here. If I try to do a chain homing attack, it won't lock onto anything else. Only enemies.
Yeah, we may change that. Who knows? Maybe give it more utility. But you know, if you hit a spring with it and then you chain it to something else, that would be a little weird. So even if we do give it more utility, it will still be limited, I think.
Yeah.
And another thing we're going to do limited is we're going to make it cost boost to use, at least some, because
this is
right
a very
now,
powerful move.
Yeah. If you can't tell, like, even though it takes some time to wind up, even it actually is like, I would say it's comparable. I would say it's more powerful than the unnerved homing attack.
The unnerved homing attack?
The homing attack before we added in the delay.
Oh. Yeah, it's probably more powerful than that, if I had to guess.
Yeah, like slightly more powerful. Or slightly faster. That's really what we care about. And that's another thing, quality of life will. This is a very early iteration of it. We're going to have better markers to show where it's going, probably some sort of material to show it off, like a particle. And also, the camera will properly follow where you're going to go. Right now, it just stops. Eventually, we're going to make so that it actually shows, it'll try to show all the enemies you're going to hit. So that'll be very neat. Another thing we're thinking about too is maybe making it so that if you chain a homing attack, and you don't have any other targets other than, like, let's say you chain a homing attack 5, you charge up for 5 enemies to hit, but you only have 3 enemies in front of you. We could make it so that if it would hit the last enemy multiple times with the remaining number of charges you have left. So the enemy has multiple hit points, it could possibly, he could bounce off, hit him again, bounce off, hit him again, which would take a little bit. It wouldn't be that powerful because you're coming back to just hitting them again, like pop, pop. But it could give it more utility and just like make it so you don't waste it on, you can't waste it on enemies as easily, unless they just don't have any health.
Yep. If you remember in Sonic Unleashed, the final fight, whenever you're playing as Sonic, you'll run across like the little platforming sections, and then you'll latch up into Dark Guy's eye, and then you home attack into it repeatedly. It'll be kind of like that, a little bit.
Yeah, essentially.
Have you played Unleashed on 360?
No, but I've seen it. Like, I have a good idea of how it is. I probably should at some point. Oh boy, moon medals.
Moon medals. Every once in a while, the audio will bug out, so if it gets really loud, I apologize.
Yeah, there's something going with the enemies where they'll play sounds multiple times, and Unreal doesn't like that, to the point where sometimes it would actually, if you have too many sounds playing, it will pull a fucking Sega Genesis and it will actually cut out the audio.
Yeah. Unreal only has so many sound channels you can play.
Yeah, we'll probably have to look into that at some point, because that's still an issue.
Yep. I love this move.
Yeah. We also had some other ideas for moves too, because if you notice, right now we have the flying kick, which you press crouch to do, or the circle. Okay, let's pretend you have an Xbox 360 controller. Right now you have the normal homing attack, which you do with the A button, the flying kick, which you do with the B button, and the chain homing attack, which you do. Oof.
What?
You got smacked up. Looking at your stream. And you have the chain homing attack, which you do using the X button. So what with the Y button? Well, one idea we had for that is maybe the Axe body spray kick.
The Axe body spray. You run up to an enemy, and then you spray with Axe body spray. OBS has this bullshit thing where if you try to go live with a stream title that you had previously, it refuses to go live, and it is annoying as shit. Are we back now? Is it working? We are
I
back.
think so. Yeah, I
Okay.
see it.
Sorry about that. My internet cut out. Good. I just hit quit. God damn it. All right. Actually, let's turn it down real quick. What were we saying? Oh yeah, about how
the axe,
powerful. Oh yeah, the axe kick.
Okay, so we're not actually. Should we, is everyone back in? I mean, we didn't have a lot of viewers, but
I'll go ahead and see what she's gonna say about the axe kick.
okay. So it's actually not called the axe body spray kick. We're just going to call it the axe kick. That's the name Fizz. I think that's what it's actually called. It's a move inspired by Sonic Battle R. Sonic Battle. Okay, I don't know why I added R. Essentially, Sonic will do a downward kick, so he will like do a front flip, and have his foot out. So, the kick will come down on top of the enemy's chrome dome.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of this move is it's a powerful move. It'll probably do a bit more damage than a normal homing attack. And there'll be a bit of a delay when you actually get up to the enemy. Like you'll home into the enemy, do the axe kick, and when you do the attack, you'll actually fly up a good bit. Like not too high, but you'll get a good bit of height. But what would also be cool is if the enemy is light, like if the enemy isn't like a large enemy, they'll fly upwards with you. Like you hit them so hard that they'll bounce off the ground and follow you upwards. And if you time it right, you can maybe hit them with the move again, and they'll fly downwards and smack into the ground. If you hit a flying enemy with this, they'll just come to the ground. So this would only be something you can use against, say, an egg pawn. And also, the enemy has to survive the hit. There's another thing too, if you want to get the flying effect. So if you do it, the axe kick, the idea is that you do the axe kick on a low health enemy, they'll explode or they'll not like it for whatever reason. But you'll go flying upwards a bit. But if you hit an enemy that has enough health, you'll hit them again. I mean, you hit them with the axe kick, they go flying, you go flying upwards. You hit them again with it if you time it just right, and you'll go flying upwards a little bit more. So you could get essentially a double hit out of it. And who knows, maybe the enemy, when you hit them a second time, they'll go flying to the ground and have like a good amount of splash damage too. So it could be a aerial bombardment tool also somehow.
Yeah.
Physics.
Because physics, that's how Sonic works. Sonic works with physics. Oh, God damn it. I hate that. So, yep. We have a couple of other ideas that we want to do with combat, but we're not quite ready to talk about them yet. We want to make sure we have a better... we have a better grasp on what combat's going to be like.
Yeah, and we do need more enemies to test it out with, because right now we don't have any new enemies. We don't have any ranged enemies other than maybe the egg beetles, which we haven't put in.
You mean the gun beetles?
Gun beetles. Egg beetles, Jesus. So that's another thing too. We also need to get bigger enemies, more ranged enemies. We're probably going to focus on those kind of enemies next, after we iron out a few things.
Yep.
You missed.
I did. I'm not used to playing with controller.
Are you playing with controller?
I am.
How does it feel actually?
The combat doesn't feel any different. If anything, the combat actually feels easier on controller than it does on keyboard, just because of the button layout and how you hold your thumbs out and such.
Yeah, that's actually part of... I'm not trying to make controller better than keyboard, but I did have controller in mind when thinking of, button combinations and stuff. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I wouldn't mind if combat's easier on controller, because a lot of games, combat-focused games are better on controller.
Yeah. So, the combat will be harder on keyboard and mouse, which is fine. Because, personally, I find the platforming easier on keyboard and mouse.
For this game,
yeah.
At least. Because you're going so fast that just aiming with your mouse,
is a lot easier. But... Boop. Look at that. And momentum homing attack. What else is there?
Just more concepts, I guess.
Well, we already went over the eagle. I keep calling it eagle kick. The axe kick. We already went over the axe kick.
You could call it the eagle kick. That would make more sense, actually.
Well,
Because you do fly high.
No, but the eagle kick is a different move Sonic has.
Oh. Dang it.
Sliding on ice.
I do have an idea that I haven't really spoken to you about as much. So I was thinking, like, maybe you could have like a movement ability when you're for each character, not just Sonic. They could do a pressing X or the boost button while you're rolling. And I was thinking it would be cool if Sonic can like store up a spin dash, like one spin dash. It could cost energy or something, but like a low yield spin dash while rolling by pressing a button. And he could maybe even skid around, kind of like. I don't want to like steal ideas, but like one good example of that is Sir Gygas's Sonic Core, because in that game that's an ability that you can do. I think
which ability?
I was thinking pretty much it allows you to store up a spin dash while you're rolling. You hold down the shift button, you store up a spin dash, not a full charge one.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then if you're rolling on the ground while doing it, you will slide around, and maybe even you can store up in the air, so it can even be. I know like this would make the drop dash obsolete, but it's just a cool idea. But one thing I was thinking of also is what if other characters could have not the same ability, but like other things they could do while rolling. And one idea I thought of is for Tails, what if while he's rolling, you can hold down shift and you can spend stamina to actually propel him forward. Not a lot, but like provide some force forward in the direction that you're holding or direction that you're going. So while you're rolling, Tails can actually have some velocity control, like propel himself, kind of like a boat or submarine or whatever.
Yeah.
Or airplane, flying. And you could do that in the air, of course. I think that would be kind of cool because it's kind of like I know I'm bringing up other fan games, but like in the Momentum Engine, Tails, if you don't know, at least what Wolfbane is trying to do is for Tails, he wants to make it so that he also has a stamina meter and he can expend that to actually go faster as Tails. But I was thinking, well, we don't make it so Tails can just do that whenever. Well, it would be cool if he could do that while rolling, though, to make it, to just give him an extra ability. For Knuckles, I'm not sure what he can do. Maybe he can, like, maybe it will cancel him into a dig animation or something. I'm not sure for Knuckles, but it can extend to any character, essentially. And I think it will be a cool thing, especially for Sonic, because being able to essentially store up a spin dash whenever, even at the cost of energy, like either on the ground or in the air, that would be really cool.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it.
So, Fizz is going to beat me off screen.
Yeah. I think the next thing we could probably go ahead and talk about is Sage. Like, we can actually discuss what our plans are for Sage. We weren't entirely sure how we were going to go about Sage, but I think we have a better idea on what we're going to end up doing now.
Yeah, one of those things is definitely not going to be a trailer because we missed that deadline.
Yeah, because I hate how Sage does it. Sage is so fucking stupid with their deadlines and how they manage that shit. It is so dumb. They're like, oh, hey, we want you to submit a trailer for a product that is going to be featured months from now that you can't actually confirm that said product is going to have the features in your trailer by that time.
Yeah. Like, if this was like a regular like game conference or whatever, that would make more sense because usually those things have much more planning involved. But we're just a couple of fans.
Yeah, like there are things that we're going to be having at Sage. Like there are things that we are definitely going to feature at Sage with Infinity Plus, but that stuff is not ready whatsoever to show off, or we've simply not begun work on it yet. So there are things that we are going to be doing that we're going to show off on at Sage, but it's either not begun work yet, or it's not in a presentable state whatsoever, and yet they expected us to make a trailer for it. Like, I don't know. I really don't like the way that they do that. If you're going to submit something to Sage, it needs to be... The trailer needs to be at the same time that you're submitting everything else to Sage. I don't know why they're two separate dates. And it's just annoying the hell out of me. Anyway, enough complaining about Sage. Let's actually discuss what we're going to have at Sage. What we're not going to have at Sage is the project files, the source code, because Sage is not about the sharing of the source code of your engine. They do not allow you to share any project files and such like that at Sage. So all we're going to have at Sage will be a demo. We're not going to have any project files. We're not going to be able to share anything with you outside of a playable demo, so that's all you guys are going to get, unfortunately. But you're going to have to take that up with Sage, to be honest, not us. We have no control of that situation. Even if we did, I don't know if we would be ready to share another project file update by Sage. Just because of the sheer amount of things that we want to get done for the next update. I don't think that we will have it all done and ready before the Sage submission deadline.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which the Sage submission deadline is like middle of next month. So that's in like 4 weeks or so, like 4 or 5 weeks. That's the deadline for submitting to Sage, because Sage is in
that's
August.
not a lot of time considering what we have to do.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do. And I don't see us getting everything that we want to get done before Sage. So I don't think that does mean, unfortunately, because Sage does fall around the regular time in which we would release an update, because we release updates about every 4 months or so. We might actually end up having to push this update back just due to the amount of things that we want to get done.
Is that a Reese?
Is that a Reese?
You're in stream right now, are you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've basically discussed everything except for Sage. We just started talking about Sage right now.
Ah, right.
And how Sage handles their trailers and how that's poopy.
How it's stupid as shit.
Mm.
But I was simply explaining that obviously we're not going to be releasing the source code at Sage because 1, Sage doesn't allow it, so that's not even up to us, and 2, even if we were allowed to, I don't think that we would, because of the sheer amount of things we're planning on adding into this update. I don't think that we'll be quite ready to, like, because Sage falls on the same time that we would normally release updates for Infinity Plus, about every 4 months or so. And Sage is about 4 months from whenever we released our last update.
Mm-hmm.
But we might have to end up pushing this update back. Everything that will be showing off at Sage will be a part of the next update, but our next update will have more than what we've shown off at Sage, or will show off at Sage.
Yeah, we're probably going to revamp a few things too. Like, we're talking about having a separate YouTube channel and maybe even a Twitch channel for Sonic Infinity Plus.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. We did fulfill our promise of being more active and less closed off with our stuff because, well, I mean, we're doing dev streams every 2 weeks. I'm not saying like that's all we had to do, but we are still. Something we are still trying to do.
I'm sharing a lot more stuff on the Twitter, and we try to post updates regularly on the Discord, so we're trying to be a lot more open and a lot more frequent with what we're doing with the project, and we're hoping to keep that up. But again, to go back to Sage, I think we should probably actually say what it is that we're planning on showing off at Sage. Unfortunately, I do not believe that we will have Whisper or Silver done by the time of Sage. I do not believe that Silver and Whisper will be ready by Sage.
Definitely not Whisper.
Definitely not Whisper.
What I've said before is people should look at this Sage version as not the next release.
Yeah.
It's more of a 0.5 demo, 3.5.
Our Sage demo will have maybe half of the content that we're actually going to be adding into the next release. But due to just how Sage is timed, we're not going to have everything done and ready before then, according to the next update.
Unfortunately not.
I highly doubt, like, Whisper for an absolute fact will not be at Sage. I'm gonna say that right now, unless some God-given miracle happens and we blast through Whisper, like insanely fast. I'm gonna say like 99% is not gonna be at Sage. Silver, on the other hand, there could be a possibility that Silver could end up at Sage. If he does end up
complete form.
Yeah, if he does end up at Sage, he will not be complete. It will be like a proto Silver, probably like maybe 50%, maybe 75% done, depending on if we have any problems with him, because we have made a lot of good progress with Silver, but he just may not be ready yet. As for the things that we know for a fact will be at Sage, obviously everything that we've shown up until now will be at Sage. We have all of these Wisps. All the Wisps that we have shown off so far will be at Sage. We'll probably end up removing all the Wisps that you can't actually use. Those will probably end up being removed. That way there aren't any bugs and issues.
Yeah, our current goal right now is to get all of the Wisps that appear in both versions of Sonic Colors, so Sonic Colors on the Wii and DS, playable and complete, functional aesthetically and in terms of gameplay complete for the Sage demo.
Yeah. So for anyone who is wondering what that means we are hoping to get Burst, Rocket, Drill, Hover, Cube, Spike, Frenzy, Laser, and obviously the White Wisp. I did say Hover and Cube, right?
Yeah, Void.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and Void. We're hoping to get all of those Wisps done and ready, at least functionally. If they're not done aesthetically, I think that's fine. But as long as they're functionally finished and done, I think that'll be okay. We want to get the Sonic Colors Wisps done. So no Ivory Lightning, no Eagle, no Quake, Asteroid, Bomb, Rhythm, or Ghost. None of those will be at Sage. We want to, at the very least, get the Sonic Colors Wisps done.
Yeah, we don't want to just finish some random Wisps and then just have those done. We have Jade Ghost, Asteroid, Void. That'll just be weird. We want to try to have like a complete set from one, that's more consistent.
Yeah.
Canonically.
The other things that we're gonna have at Sage will be the not all of the combat. We want to, at the very least, get a majority of the speed characters' combats done. So all of the speed characters, Sonic, Shadow, Blaze, and Metal Sonic, we want to get their combat in a good functioning state, as well as a couple of extra enemies, like different kinds of enemy types. Those are all the things that we would like to get done by Sage.
At the very least, have all the speed characters play. If we can only finish Sonic's combat, that'll be fine, because then technically, if Sonic's done, all the other characters are done too, since they play literally the same right now. We may try to add in variations for different characters, and who knows, maybe even give Metal Sonic that flight thing I was talking about. But for now, at the very least, expect combat to be functional, playable, and fun for Sonic and Co., even if they all play the same.
So, though, that's essentially what we're hoping to show off at the next Sage. We don't have really anything else that we will be showing off or hoping to get finished before then. We just want some extra enemy types, some more visuals, probably a bit more of the combo system done. We'll probably try and get that at least started and integrated at the very least, so people get a basic understanding of what the combat system will be like in the combo system.
In the mock system, probably, because mock system probably won't even be too hard to code compared to literally everything else. So that's something we can probably get started on. I think we should probably at least start working on it probably during this week and next week, I think.
Yeah, the mock system shouldn't be too difficult because it's the mock system.
Yeah, it's mostly number based.
So that is all we're really planning on presenting at Sage. The Colors Wisps, all of the Wisps presented from Sonic Colors and DS and Wii. The speed character combat, at least its most basic and functional form, meaning all the things that we are planning on having included with it. The the combo system, or the combo counter system, and the damage multiplier stuff, all that stuff we want to show off at Sage. And potentially Silver. Potentially. Whisper is a no-go. She will be a part of the next update, but she is not going to be at Sage. Silver obviously is going to be part of the next update, but we want to maybe get him to Sage, depending on how much of an issue we have with him, essentially.
We also want to try to definitely flesh out Tails and Knuckles more, like not just in combat, but also their moveset in general. Because that was like something we also wanted to say for this update.
Yeah.
Because even though it's cool to have them in, they're still pretty bare bones at the moment.
Yeah, that'll be for the update, though, not for Sage. We're not going to focus on Tails or Knuckles for the Sage.
Yeah. Of course, any changes or any updates for Sage and update will let you guys know what's coming.
Pretty much. But, yeah, I think we've mainly gone over everything we want to go over. The chain homing attack. We've gone over concepts for a kick attack. We glazed over all the combat and the combat systems. We've given we've updated everyone on the Wisps that we've worked on, such as Burst and Hover. We did show off Blue Cube, and it is a little annoying. But
what do you mean? A little annoying. It's Blue Cube, the best Wisp of them all.
I'm the only one that's worked on Blue Cube so far,
yeah,
and it's driving me insane.
Reese, I nominate you to work on Blue Cube because I don't want to.
Blue Cube is driving me insane.
Yeah, and Fizz says he doesn't want to stop. He wants to stop working on it. He says pawning it off to another team member.
I did.
And I nominate you.
Yes, you said it would be me. I'm going to do it.
Yay.
I will work on... I'll most likely work on Frenzy next. Me and Emmanuel's going to work together on Drill and Spike. Hopefully, Spike, honestly, may not be too difficult and may not take too long to do, depending on how difficult it is to translate some old code that we have laying around, because we already have ideas on what we want to do for Spike.
Yeah, I have an old prototype for something I have for Knuckles that I've shown up before that actually translates really well to Drill and Spike variably.
Yep. So we're going to be reviving and recycling old code for Spike and Drill. Spike probably will not take too long to do, I'm not going to lie. But Drill will be a little bit of a bitch. Drill is going to be recycling 2 pieces of old code for underwater cases and for...
on land cases.
On land cases, yep.
We also need to figure out how it's going to work. Because if you guys remember, like in Sonic Colors, you can also drill into ground. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to allow you to just drill into the ground and actually go underground wherever you want. We may have certain 2D sections, not 3D, 2D sections where you can go underground and stuff like that, where you can go through like dirt in the 2D section, you get a side view of it. That's something we may look into, but that's more so like, that's honestly a gimmick, so who knows.
Actually, I have an idea on how we can do that now.
Ooh.
Maybe.
That's something we'll have to think about.
I have an idea. I don't know about it though. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to you about it later.
That's fine. Anyway, we should probably, I know nobody has said anything in chat, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, or, any feedback. I know, like, you guys don't have hands on the project right now, so you can't tell us how awesome or how terrible we are right now with the project, but if you guys have anything you want to say, you can go ahead.
Yep.
Unless someone chopped off your arms and you can't type, then I understand.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take any questions, concerns, or ideas for now. No one's really said much of anything, so.
I will say one of the ideas we have for the homing attack modifiers we did get from someone giving feedback, and that was actually very helpful.
Yeah, technically the chain attack was feedback from somebody.
Yeah, well, it was feedback from somebody in the Discord, one of our team members. But I mean, I'm talking about the tackle thing.
Oh yeah, the homing attack tackle was also feedback.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later once we have maybe a working prototype. Who knows?
Was the tackle one of the ones we were gonna work on, or was I know we were planning on working on the axe kick.
I think the tackle was one of the ones we wanted to work on later.
Okay.
But I think that was like one of the ones I said that's probably if we it'll at least be an option we'll add in.
Yeah.
Depending on how we go about how many you can go about, because we both like the idea. That means it's probably getting in a game.
Yeah, because we have the obviously we have the home attack chain, and then we have the home attack kick. But the ones that we were going to work out was the home attack chain, there's the axe kick, and then the third one was... Which one?
I think it was just a flying kick.
I thought we talked about it yesterday, because you had that entire list of moves. There, I'm like,
oh,
I
yeah,
want to get these 3 moves done, and then we'll move forward from there.
Oh, yeah, you said the... I think it was a homing spin attack.
Oh, yeah, it was the homing spin attack.
Yeah, that was like the powerful move for single targets.
Yep. I don't want to spoil what the homing spin attack will be, but it's going to be like Sonic's most powerful, or the speed character's most powerful single target move. I don't want to spoil. Yeah, so far in terms of single target damage, the homing spin attack will be the most powerful move. I don't want to spoil what it is or how it will work, but it is going to be pretty cool. It has some combo potential. Not out of the attack, like coming out of the attack doesn't have too much combo potential, but you have a lot of other options to combo into it to deal massive single target damage.
Yeah.
I love that move. It's so fun.
That's the point. First and foremost, the move should be fun. If it's not fun, or there's a move that's more fun than it, we have a slight problem. Like, some moves are always going to be more fun than others. Like, that's just kind of like how things work. But higher risk moves should give you more reward in terms of fun, I think.
We should probably toss around some more enemies in here, especially ones with different like health values. That way we can get a better idea on like how something.
Yeah, we should probably flesh out this. We'll probably flesh out this room a lot more. Maybe even make it bigger depending on how things go, because it is actually kind of small for an entire room for combat for a speed character in some ways.
Yeah, for a power character or flight character, it's not too bad, but for a speed character, this is not a whole lot of room to work with.
Yeah. Especially if we're going to have a mechanic where you have to build speed and stuff. It would be kind of cool if you can kill enemies that are on loops and stuff too. Like you're on a loop, you're going down, you see an enemy, just roll into it and just keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also thinking about an extension to the windmill kick where you can press like a control and either like you cancel into a slide, like a slide in air, and eventually you drop down to the ground, or maybe you do like a backflip. That's something I'll work on later, though. It'll just to make the move more versatile and honestly less stiff, because right now it's very hard to like act out of it other than double jump or a roll. But that's a bit lower in the priority list.
Yep. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, I suppose we can probably go ahead and finish up. We didn't have too much to show off today, but the stuff we
at least
did
compared
show
to yesterday.
Yesterday.
But 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was a bit of a slower 2 weeks, but...
Yeah, I finished school. Well, not finished all school, but I finished my summer semester.
Yeah.
I had finals and stuff, so I was actually pretty much MIA for an entire week. So I only had half a week of like not having anything else to do to work on anything for the project.
I've been working on a personal project of mine a little bit. I'm not going to be showing anything off yet. I'm hoping to get something to show off within like the next 2 months or so.
Yeah. Reese was also working on his project too and some other stuff.
Yeah. I am making a lot of really good project on mine, or a lot of good progress on my project though. I am actually kind of excited about it. I'm just waiting for some artwork to come in so I can do some model work. Alright, let me rephrase that. I'm waiting for artwork to come in so I can learn how to do modeling work. Because
I'll say like you can model ever since when?
Ever since
You're
never,
hired.
I'm going to be learning how to model. But hopefully within like the next 2 months, I have something to show off.
All right.
I think since no one else has made any comments or questions, I think that'll be it for now.
Yeah, we'll be posting this as a video at some point, so people can watch.
Purple plant.
People can just watch us ramble on for how long is what's going on? Like 2 hours?
I think about an hour and a half, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Because my timer is broken now because I had to cut the stream halfway through.
Oof.
Because my internet cut out. I don't know why. But yep, I'll be uploading this next Monday. I'll actually have to edit these videos because it cut out, so meaning I have to splice them together.
Nice.
Oh no.
Yep. So, until then, I will be seeing everybody next time. Not next Monday, obviously, but the Monday after. And then sometime after that, we're actually going to have to submit a demo to Sage. Although, if I remember right, the rules state that even though you've submitted a demo, you can actually update the demo at any point in time. So we can just get a demo submitted for the sake of having it submitted. And then we can just update the demo.
That's probably the pro strat right there.
Yep. That way we can get a demo in before the deadline. But but that'll be it. We'll see everybody on the next dev stream on the I think it's like the 3rd of next month. So
3rd?
Yep.
Yeah, you're no, yeah, 3rd.
So I looked at the calendar. I know what I'm doing. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you then.
All right. See you guys. Auf Wiedersehen.